Welcome back to Let's Play Halo. I'm BurningDogFace, and last time we evacuated the Pillar of Autumn and landed, somewhat roughly, on this mysterious ringworld. Marco! No, you're supposed to yell polo, not shoot back. Achievement unlocked, Balajo's Most Wanted. Close that. Kill 100 grunts. Well, don't I feel smug for mentioning the name of the planet before it came up. Speaking of names, I said that I would explain why I'm leaving out the Combat Evolved part of the title later. And, well, it's later, so it's actually fairly simple. I'm leaving it out because the creators of the game, Bungie Studios, didn't want to put it there. They just wanted to call the game Halo. Imagine that. But, the publisher, I guess it was Microsoft, since this was originally,
I'm reading a lifeboat beacon over the next hill. We should check to see if there are any survivors.
It was originally a launch title for, the original Xbox. You can't break those, incidentally. So I'm just, staying far away from it because of that gun.
It's a mess, sir. We're scattered all over this valley. We called for evac, but until you showed up, I thought we were cooked.
Don't worry, Sergeant. We'll stay here until evac arrives.
Heading in. Over here. I'll be right there.
So they, apparently Microsoft thought that, shooters with one short word as a title, the target audience associates those with retro shooters like Doom and Quake. So they tagged on Combat Evolved, which I guess is some kind of vague reference to, the Master Chief being a super soldier. Ooh, stuff. Accomplish anything, would have probably looked good. Ooh! Jackals! Their species is called the Kigyar.
Look sharp. Covenant dropship on approach.
K-I-G-hyphen-Y-A-R. Ooh. Ah, yes, the Needler. This is an interesting idea. It shoots these little projectiles. And, they vaguely home towards living targets and embed themselves in the skin of said targets, and then they explode. And if you get 7 needles into one person before they start breaking, they have a chain reaction and violently explode with the force of a miniature grenade that only affects that person. Also has that pretty bitchin' melee attack. Unfortunately, in this game, it's also hilariously weak, and the tracking is slow, so I consider it one of the worst weapons in the game. Despite that description I just gave it, and the fact that in the novels, they treat it realistically, which means it's absolutely devastating. It's supposed to, a bunch of exploding crystals just went off in my skin. I'm just gonna walk it off, it'll be fine. They're everywhere, he says. Makes you feel bad, doesn't it? You know, I like this design, but, I don't know, some people think it looks stupid with the big Y-shaped ship. I think it's distinctive, personally. I don't know what the button is to switch, okay, grenades. To switch grenades is B. Yeah, the Covenant have their own grenades, and you can use them yourself. Not quite big enough. Still cool looking. The difference is, Covenant grenades stick. Ah, shit. Back up, back up. Shields. I think the regenerating shields thing was a deliberate attempt to counter the issue of, it's like, well, I survived that fight, but now I have 2 hit points left. And there's almost no way I can complete the next fight unless I do it perfectly. You know, Halo, by comparison, if you survive the fight, your shields go back up to full, and you are in good fighting condition for the next battle. Which means they can make every battle pretty much as hard as they want, and as long as you don't die, they can continue making the next battle as hard as they want. Alright, let's do this. Surprise! Oh, wasn't big enough. I don't know what I was expecting. You're dead. You're dead. You're definitely going to be dead. Oh, shit. Not always faster to reload. I mean, it's not always faster to switch weapons than reload, I have noted. I cannot skip that animation right there, for example. No, you're already dead. You're not! You gotta hit the notch when they're aiming at you. Catch them in the hand, and they flinch and move the shield aside. No! That is not necessary. That does not have to happen. I was hoping I could avoid it on normal difficulty. Jackal shields are annoying because unlike personal energy shields, they don't go down when you hit them with bullets. They're just impervious to kinetic strikes. Except for fists, because the Master Chief punches a whole lot harder than a single bullet impacts. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but when you need a hammer, the Master Chief can do it with his hands. Is there a health kit on top of the thing? Killed all my dudes.
Anybody read me? Repeat. Any UNSC personnel respond.
Roger, Echo 419. This is Fire Team Charlie. We read you. Is that you, Foehammer?
Roger, Fire Team Charlie. Good to hear from you.
Foehammer, we need transportation to the command shuttle.
I'm on my way.
Look, more lifeboats. They're coming in fast. If those lifeboats make it down, the Covenant are going to be right on top of them.
Foehammer, we need you to disengage your Warthog. The Master Chief and I are going to see if we can save some soldiers.
Roger. Roger, Cortana.
It's different when I'm being recorded.
Okay,
Talking.
Charlie Team, Warthog deployed. Saddle up and give 'em hell.
Roger, Foehammer. Stand by to evac survivors and transport them to safety.
Oh.
That's affirmative. Echo 419 staying on station. Foehammer out.
Oh, let me on. It'll be great. You can't actually go that any further than that. Ah, the Warthog. They say that this is the reason that Halo exists in its current form. Because when it started development, it was an RTS, a real-time strategy game. But someone inserted controls to take direct control of the Jeeps and realized that they're a lot of fun to drive around. Movement controls control your acceleration. Look controls turn the camera. The Warthog will automatically turn in the direction the camera is looking when you accelerate. Marines will enter your vehicle if you stop and let them. Wait a minute. Oops, that's out. Huh! I can't find the horn. There used to be a horn. Unfortunate. Oh, yes, and in case you were wondering, it's called the Warthog because it has tusks. Personally, I think the minigun is a bit more of a notable feature. Oh, for fuck. Sorry, my bad. Well, since the guy's out for the moment, I'll just jump up here and spin around in a circle. Infinite ammo, and it never overheats. I love the first game. Let's get that guy back in here, because the Marines in this game cannot drive. Period. Oh, no. You know what? I'll just, and then not flip it. The Pelican Cargo Transport / Troop Carrier. I always liked that name. The Pelican. What else do I know about this series? I can tell you that the Master Chief and all of the other Spartan 2s were conscripted? Yeah, conscripted is the word I would use. Except I'm not sure it really applies when they were 6 years old at the time.
This cave is not a natural formation. Someone built it, so it must lead somewhere.
A lot of people think that line is really, really stupid, but it seems reasonable enough to me.
The Covenant Battle Network. They're actually broadcasting tactical data on unencrypted channels. We should show them who they're dealing with. Master Chief, I'm going to use your suit's transcom system to monitor their chatter.
We don't hear any of it, so I'm just going to take her word for it. Oh, and it's invincible in this one, too. Is that considered a spoiler? If I tell you, for example, that the Warthog is totally destructible, starting with Halo 2? Oh shit, it's a terminal. Yeah, they hid these in the anniversary graphics versions of the game. Sacrifice.
I am experiencing such a mixture of anticipation and dread. All preparations are complete for my installation. In accordance with the final dictum of the Ecumene Council, I have released myself of all remaining connections to my former station. This was not difficult. What was could never be again. We had seen to that quite thoroughly. Prior to my final journey through the Great Portal, a gathering of my fellow monitors was convened upon the Lightworkers Crash to distribute the final index collection. It was most unusual to have this vessel of rebirth play host to such an event. Even though Lightworker ships were the only ones still allowed slip-space formations. Lightworkers were responsible for getting us to our places on the active facilities of the array. While all of this was in accordance with the plan, one entirely unsatisfactory breakdown remained. We had no contact with the domain. The history of all Forerunners was now lost to us. We relied upon the permanence of the domain to preserve our record of the events that led to this point. But without that record, would future civilizations know anything about us? Or only of our weapons? My fellow monitor, 049 Adject Testament, had only one comment on this before we went our separate ways.
We deserve to be forgotten.
Perhaps. Perhaps. But now, the portal opens, and through it, the familiar shape awaits. Halo. Home.
Damn. The game just spoiled itself, or... Well, the gods of the Covenant are a race of aliens called the Forerunners, at least that's what they call them. And they disappeared from the galaxy 100,000 years ago, despite leaving behind things like this. And the Covenant are absolutely 100% convinced that the Forerunners ascended to godhood. And that's why they disappeared. Oh no. Embarrassing. Ooh. Oh no. This thing is prone to fishtailing wildly out of control. Hey, do me a favor and start shooting!
Want some more of this?
Fortunately, the game cannot tell the difference between a fast-moving vehicle and a slow-moving vehicle, apparently. If a vehicle is moving when the front of it touches you, you die! I learned that just yesterday, actually.
Here comes more.
In fact, I got that from some guy on the internet, so you might want to take that with a grain of salt. As opposed to, like, you know, the wiki or something. So, the elites are honorable warriors, the grunts are, expendable cannon fodder. The jackals are all assholes. Like, really. Any that aren't soldiers of the Covenant are, like, space pirates.
Over here.
Oop.
Oh, yeah.
Nicely done. Gotta give him an angle. There you are!
Not so tough now, you damn monster.
Keep the engine warm. I remembered that bit. I actually remembered that bit. Going around the corner and getting smacked in the face by this guy. How do you like it? Ah, yes. I gotta say this. Honestly, Halo 1 started me thinking of a thing which made me realize, forget robots and flying cars and jetpacks. It isn't really the future until we can build something that still functions perfectly after being neglected for 100,000 fucking years. Look at this. No, all of the lights are still working. All of these little panels are still going. Unless you're in the old-fashioned graphics. It's been a whole shitload of time. Longer than the human species has existed, I believe, in the fossil record. And yet, looks like it's just waiting for the Forerunners to come back. Well, I'm BurningDogFace, and my anonymous friend and I will see you on the next episode of Let's Play Halo Anniversary, when we continue our journey through this ring world and put a few more alien bastards in the ground. Later!